joining a trade union doesn't necessarily just offer you a strong voice when it comes to negotiating for fair pay or better pay, but it does offer you protection and also support for professional development in your workplace. Also, it offers you a bit of support whereby you're not feeling like as though you're going through it alone. When you face workplace challenges, that you can always call on them to be there for you, to represent you. Guys, today we are going to talk about joining a trade union if you're healthcare in this country, or basically if you are a professional in this country, if you work in this country, this video is for you. We're going to be talking about why you need to have a union to represent you, why you need to join a union. We're not going to be talking about which union in particular. The choice is yours, but we want to make sure you have come across such information. We have spoken about it. We have made everybody aware the importance of joining a trade union. Guys, it's very, very important for you to do so. Guys, a big welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Florence, and today we are talking about why you need to join a union, why it's important for you to join a union. Guys, when you do join a union, it does offer you so many advantages, especially if you're in the healthcare sector where so much goes on in there. There's so many challenges we face every day, and knowing you have a union really sort of like gives you a bit of a cushion, a bit of a bit of a comfort somehow. It relaxes you. So I will talk of the benefits, definitely. So one of the things that I want to talk about first and foremost is collective bargaining when it comes to better pay and working conditions. So these unions, what they do is they are sort of like a voice for the employees. They engage your employers, they engage certain stakeholders in your profession, certain stakeholders in the industry to advocate for you to have better pay, better working conditions. So when you are being represented by a union, definitely you stand a better chance for you to benefit from some of the things that they advocate for. Also, it definitely ensures that workers are fairly compensated for their efforts. So it's actually important for you to join a union because that amplifies the voice for that. I mean, we're here for work, and we want to be paid better when we work. So I mean, it's very, very important that you do join a union. Also, we talked about them advocating for better and improved working conditions. These working conditions can vary from breaks, can go on to flexible working, reasonable shifts. So when you do join a union and your union bargains or gets into these conversations with your organization or the whole industry as a whole, then definitely you benefit from this. So it's very, very important that you do join this union and you can benefit from these things. Some of the things that I want to talk about that you can benefit from having a union is the job security and protection from unfair treatment. Guys, we cannot say everybody is ethical, is fair, is considerate of their employees. There are very unscrupulous, merciless employers out there. They are very, very, they don't care about the employee welfare. They don't care about you. So when you do have a union, then you could be secure. What are we talking about? We're talking about protection against unfair dismissal. You could really find yourself out of employment unfairly without like you being told why you've been sacked or why you just go to a hearing and then you go like straight away dismissal. So when you have a union, then you've got somebody that can stand up for you. So being part of a union provides protection. If you face unfair treatment or dismissal, unions can intervene and represent you in disputes and provide legal support. So when you're a part and parcel of them, definitely they will represent you, and you won't maybe need to have a lawyer which are expensive in this country. So when you have a union and you do feel this is unfair, this is I shouldn't have been treated this way, then you engage your union and your union will intervene. Your union will represent you without you having to pay extra. So this could go as far as maybe disciplinary and grievance support. Suppose you're faced with a disciplinary action and wish to raise a complaint against your organization. These things go on a lot. By virtue of us working in this industry, by virtue of us working for these employers, we are bound to be found in disciplinary hearings, disciplinary disputes. So if you do feel, no, I shouldn't be going through or I need to be represented, then the union will do that on your behalf. Also, union provide representation and help you to navigate complex procedures, ensuring fairness. Because I mean, some of these disputes, some of these disciplinary disputes can go as far as maybe to courts, and you may feel, oh, I need representation. Then your union will step in and provide that role. The third thing that I want to talk about is advocacy for health and safety. Guys, where we work, we are always at risk, and safety is important. Safety for you, safety for the organization, and safety for the people that we do care for and look after. So how and when does the union come in? So these unions, they advocate for safe work environments where healthcare assistants or anybody often work in environments with potential to risk. This can be health risk, this can be physical risk, such an exposure to infections and handling heavy equipment. So unions advocate for better health and safety standards. So they're there to ensure that you're protected in whatever way, because I mean, some of these health or safety risks may not come to light now, but may come to light later on in life or later on in the stages of life and employment. So your union is there to represent you, to ensure that you're protected, to ensure that in the event that you are in danger or you've been exposed to a risk, then due process is followed. Also, some of the things that the union will do in terms of your health and safety is to ensure that your employer provides you with proper training, personal protective equipment, and safe practice. I mean, I do hear a lot of people do come to me with issues and feedback to me and say, oh, we're faced with such and such in our organization. Yes, it's good to talk socially like we do, would share advice and everything. But if you do have a union, those are some of the things that you can actually forward to a union to say, oh, I'm having to work these hours, or I'm having to work in these conditions, or I'm having to work under such conditions or without such training, and I do feel I'm at risk, and I do feel even the people that I look after are at risk. And then your union will take it up with the employer. It's not every other issue that you have to like be so engaging or so confrontational with your employer. Some of these things you can actually go and speak to your union, and they will advise you. They will advise you on the way forward. And some of these unions may actually take it upon themselves to say, okay, let us deal with that. Let us engage your employer and see to it that this has been addressed. So it's very, very important. Also, some of the things that we don't normally see as a risk or as a safety issue are the workload management. Unions also help in addressing issues like excessive workloads and understaffing, which can affect both the well-being of the HCA and the quality of the patient care that we're offering. So it's very, very important. You're having to work the long hours. I know people in domiciliary work, sometimes they do work very strange and odd hours, even in care homes and everywhere. If you do feel it's been ongoing and it's not being addressed, it's not a once-off thing whereby someone falls in sick and you short staffed. It's an ongoing thing, and it's affecting you, it's affecting the quality of care you deliver. These are some of the things that you can speak to your union about. One of the things that I always say is have a record of how long it has been ongoing, who has been involved, what's been happening, and then so that when you do approach your union, you've got facts, you've got everything on record. It's very, very important. So these are some of the things that your union will address. This is some of the benefits of having a union. They will engage your employer on your behalf. You don't have to confront anybody. You don't have to put yourself at risk or suffer mental health due to, issues going on. The fourth thing I want to talk about, which is why I do feel everybody needs to join a union, is for training and professional development. Access to training. Sometimes you could be in that organization that offers training and everything, but you may not access it based on other things that we will not talk about in this video. So joining a union can actually advocate for you to be eligible for certain things. I mean, so unions often offer or advocate for additional training and continuing professional development and opportunities, which can help us as healthcare, us as employees, to improve our skills and advance in our careers and enhance patient care. So, I'm sure if you're watching this video and you are a subscriber, you now know I am passionate about career progression. I'm passionate about career development. I'm passionate about skills and training. But there are people that could be in organizations where there's no talk of upskilling, no talk of training and everything. And if you have a union, part and parcel of the things that they do make sure is to make sure, okay, they're advocating for you to have these trainings. So if you're in that organization, please do join a union and have these discussions with your union. Unions also do support you for career progression, where they push for a clear pathway for career progression, such as moving a healthcare role into other roles such as nursing or specialized care or managerial roles. So it's very, very important that you do join a union. I mean, if you're not aware of what your union can do for you, you may suffer for years. You may go on for years and you're not sure of what you can or what you're eligible for. So that's why we're having this conversation. That's why we're discussing some of the benefits and some of the reasons why you really need a union. I know we've been talking about like why just join this organization, just join the NHS, but then is it for everybody? It may not be for everybody. You may be for domiciliary care, but then maybe what you need is just a union that can represent you, and then that union can advocate for you to go through numerous training that's funded by your organization, access certain training funded by your organization, and then you can realize your dream while you're in that role. So it's very, very important that you have a union. And when you do have your union, make use of them by constantly engaging in discussions with them, asking questions. Is it possible for me to get this and this? This is the organization I work for, and this and this. This is what I would like. Is it possible for me to access this? It's very important. And you may realize so many benefits within your workplace, your work environment for you when you have a union that can advocate for you, when you have a union which stands in as a voice for you. The fifth thing that I want to talk about, which is the benefit when you join a union, is your protection of your rights as a worker. Your worker rights, definitely they're there for that. This spans from equal pay, non-discrimination. Trade unions do generally fight for equal pay and combat discrimination in the workplace. In as much as we say we work in lovely environments, you could one day find yourself in a situation where you're being discriminated against based on a lot of things, from gender to race, color, a lot of things that we may not want to drill down in this video, but you could find yourself being discriminated against, and this is where your union will come in handy. So this just to ensure everybody is fairly treated regardless of their background, regardless of where they are from, regardless of their choices. So fair treatment policies in leave policies. This is whereby your union will ensure that fair policies as far as maternity is concerned. Guys, I think I'll make a video in due course about this, especially for us overseas and skilled workers. You find a lot of people are going through so much, where employers are telling them, because you fell pregnant within this period, you are not going on leave, maternity leave, you're not being entitled to this. Make sure you have a union. It will come in handy. Things like starting a family or anything can happen anytime. Sometimes you plan for it and it works good for you, but sometimes it can just happen in its own time. And it's a beautiful thing to raise a family, to raise children. I'm a mom. But then it's when your organization does not support that, then definitely it can be difficult. I've come across people deciding I'll have an abortion because I'm not entitled to maternity leave. I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose my sponsorship. Some people are being threatened to say, you fell pregnant, we're going to revoke your sponsorship. Those are unethical grounds, and this is where your union comes in. So it's very, very important. If you're in this country, if you work in this sector and you do not have a union, think twice. There's so many benefits, there's so many situations you may find yourself in, and you may really want the union to represent you. So the sixth thing that I want to talk about is support during workplace changes. Obviously, in every job, in every organization, they could come across like a lot of changes, from restructuring, redundance, an organization just deciding we're closing, or an organization just deciding we're selling. Your union can negotiate for terms on your behalf, ensuring that you receive your fair treatment, redundant pay, or alternatives such as redeployment. Guys, there are people who've just been companies just decided we're closing, the business is not working anymore, and then you find yourself, you're out of sponsorship, out of a job. So when you have a union, they can advocate for you for a safe passage for you, for redeployment, and that can sort of like calms your mind. We cannot talk about these conversations and talk about looking after our mental health. So you need a union. You need a union, definitely, guys. I cannot over emphasize this. Then also, when you have a union, it can also offer legal assistance for free. Many unions offer free legal services to their members for work-related issues, and in some cases even non-work related matters. So do your due research before you join a union and see what you can get out of it, what they can offer in terms of legal representation, because you do need it. Also, part and parcel in terms of legal assistance is this can be invaluable if you face legal challenges at work, such as discrimination claims and personal injury due to work conditions. Guys, one of the things that you have to bear in mind is nobody wants to pay anybody or compensate anybody. So for those people that you realize that you read in the papers or see in the news, you say they got a claim, it shows they've had a very strong legal team behind them to vouch for them, to speak for them, to advocate for their compensation. So having a union is one of the best decisions you can make for yourself as an employee. Also, a union stands as a strong collective voice, influencing larger issues such as the national healthcare policy, funding for healthcare services, and overall staff welfare. There's so much that goes on in employment. There's so much that we're going through that you go like, okay, I'm suffering because of this and this. So when you do join a union, it amplifies that voice. It speaks for a larger volume of people, and this can see actually like changes being implemented that can benefit you as an employee. So it's a plus for you to join these unions. It's a bonus for everybody. It's a win for all healthcares, to be fair. There's unity in numbers. When you join a union, you amplify voices. You add to the numbers that are advocating for better working conditions, better pay, better standards, and the overall goal at the end of the day. Some or even most of these unions, they offer mental and emotional support. So I've been in this job for over 2 years now. It can be mentally taxing. It can be mentally draining, mentally, I don't know, I can't find the right word, but it can really, really take a toll on your mental health, on your mind. And so especially if you're dealing with difficult patients, long hours in challenging situations, which is the case in almost like each and every work setting that we are in, there are different challenges. It's not a one size fits all, and these challenges do vary. And by virtue of us having moved from abroad to here, guys, you realize like, okay, it's a different terrain, it's a different work environment altogether, and you need that support for your mental health. You need the support, and the best way, the best place to find it is within your union. So some of these unions do offer such support, definitely. Peer support networks for healthcare workers, counseling services, and mental health resources, guys. So it's there for you, and I mean, I don't see why you cannot join it. There's also advocacy for patient care. Improve patient care standards by advocating for better staffing levels, reasonable workloads, and proper resources. Trade unions directly improve patient care, which is beneficial for all healthcares. Have you ever been in that situation where you have to like non-stop just be called upon to say, oh, we're struggling, can you do this? Oh, we're struggling, can you do an extra this, an extra that? So these unions advocate for these things so that you have that safe work environment, you've got that balance, you've got the right staffing levels, you've got the right resources in place, which then translate to the quality of care, which can then translate to a JK standard, which is amazing. I mean, so I don't see why, if you're healthcare in this country, why you haven't joined a union. It took me a while to join a union. I didn't understand if I needed it. I was like, I do my work properly. I do follow policies and procedures, so I don't really feel the need. But then it's when I stumbled across such information, valuable information, I realized, oh, I need it. It's not just about you as a person. It's not about your professionalism. You could be very professional and do everything by the book, but then be working for somebody who is unscrupulous, who is unethical, who is all sorts. So you do this to cover your back. You do this to make sure you have support in case you may need it. So it's not just about you saying, oh, I work for a very good employer. Things could work up and then they've changed and you need the union. So it's very, very important that we do join unions as healthcare assistants, guys. Of course, you pay to join. There's a subscription that you pay monthly, but it's not much, to be fair. I think the union that I do have, I pay, I think, about like £14 a month from, which is honestly, which is quite good. So before I end this video, guys, I'll give you a list of some of the unions that you can join. If you're a healthcare and you're watching this video, you can actually go with Unizon. There's the Royal College of Nursing, there's GMB, there's Unite the Union, and I'm not saying these are the only unions that you can join. There's so many of them in the country. Just make sure you find something that suits you. Make sure you find something that you can relate with and that suits your work role, or that suits the organization that you work for. And guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please take the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It means a lot to me. And thank you so much for your love and support. And I will see you in our next video. And it's bye for now. Bye. I'll see you.